Guys, today we will do a rooms tutorial. I just realized that my last video on the rooms tutorial, you couldn't hear my voice at all. So we're doing a new one. So while entering your rooms, you you would need a skeleton key and two lockpicks. The room's entrance is behind the closet on door 60. Sometimes it might not appear and might appear a bit later, or sometimes it might not appear at all. So, you must flick the lever in the next room in order to open one part of the entrance for the room's entrance. The next thing is you need to lockpick two locks. When you lockpick them, they will fall away and then reveal a skeleton key hole. Well, you need to use your skeleton key. That will open and then you'll enter the room. Alright, so on the rooms, it is recommended to have a normal flashlight because these gummy flashlights that you can get here for 10 coins are really annoying. They don't produce that much light and you have to click to refill it every few seconds. So, let's get into it. In the rooms, you can find lots of coins. Millions of coins. One time I got 8,000 coins here, which is a lot. So, and if you die, all those coins will be turned into doorknobs. So it's recommended to get those coins. And also, when you do have a normal flashlight, some guys say that it's not, when you do have a flashlight, you shouldn't buy a gummy flashlight. But that's not the case because sometimes batteries do not appear and it might be good to have a gummy flashlight anyway. Just in case. I'll pause the recording until I see some entities. Also, when you're reloading this flashlight, you should always do it at the middle of the room when you're sure there's no monsters coming. Because when you are reloading it, it makes a noise that makes it hard to hear A60. Since it might be quiet if your volume is low. And this might override the sound. So if I'm entering this room and A60 might come next, first you hide from A60 or A20 or A120 if he's coming, then you do it in the middle of the room. And sometimes, don't be scared because sometimes there'll be these background sounds that sounds like A60 is coming, but you have to be sure that they are continuous. If they stop randomly, then it's not A60, it's just some background noises designed to scare you. So for example, if you hear A60 sound but it stops very quickly, then it's not A60 sound at all. It's just a background noise. And if you want to get to A1000 as fast as possible, or A200 to get the back on track badge, then you shouldn't be scared of those and hide. You should only hide when those are continuous. Keep your sound on high so you can hear A60 and A120 coming easily. And also, if you're on the metal bridge room, apparently, if you're standing on the staircase, did A60 just come on room 39? Alright, just ignore that. So what you want to do, sometimes if you think it's hard to find a locker on the metal bridge room, if you stand on the metal staircase on the right, then you won't die to A60. Just a little thing that I discovered. I think it's a glitch, so don't try it unless you can't find a hiding spot at all. You can't use crucifixes or candles in the rooms that much either. So don't try to use them. They won't work. It will just say your candle or your crucifix feels lighter than normal. And the candle won't emit any light at all. So here's the metal bridge room. So if you stand right here and A60 comes, he won't kill you. I think it's a problem with the hitboxes. like his hitbox stays like on this level, but his image goes down here. But don't try it unless you all the other hiding spots are hard to get to. Sometimes A60 comes exactly. Sometimes A60 comes with A90. When that happens, stop for A90 first, because when A90 comes, you will actually freeze every other entity there. You would freeze A120 and A60 until he's gone. So don't panic and then try to hide and take damage from A90 while you're trying to do that. And also, if you press E or tap to hide whatever and A60 is there, it actually still damages you. So don't do that either. Sometimes he's annoying and comes exactly when you press the button to hide. All the monsters except A120 can come before where they're supposed to come. For example, A90, as you saw, can come before A90. There are actually footages of people getting A90 at the beginning room, room 0. And as you saw, I got A60 at like room 30 or something. It is also recommended to go into the rooms with 2 or less people, because there are some rooms where A60 might come or A120 might come, but there's not enough lockers for the whole people. Also, if A20 comes to the room with no lockers, there will always be lockers in the previous room. For example, if you are on room A120 and you go into A121 and A120 comes at A121, but there's no lockers there. There's no lockers there. Then it means that there will be lockers at A120. Dabson is so poor. He literally has no coins at all. Also, A120 comes from the opposite direction of A60. For example, A60 will come from this door and go that way, but A120 will come from that door and go this way. A120 comes with loud drumming sounds, and he might rebound like ambush, meaning that he will come back. You have to hide until you're absolutely sure you can't hear it anymore. I recommend hiding up to 15 seconds after he comes. If you can't hear any more sounds, then it's safe to come out. Also, when you open a door after A60, you should stop to listen for A60. And if A120, and after A120, you should stop and do that and then wait in front of a locker, because if A120 comes and you're over there, it would be hard to come back here and hide, because sometimes he will get you like that. Also, it's important to memorize the layout of each room. And when you memorize them, you should designate lockers for specific people if there are more than 2 players or more than 1 player. For example, this one is for Andy, this one is for Bobby, that one is for Steve, that one is for whoever the heck their name is. You do that so that you don't go try to hide in somebody else's locker and then die. Also, you can't hide in all the lockers. You can't hide in the lighter gray lockers. I'll show you right now after A60 passes. You can only hide in the dark lockers. You can't hide in these lighter lockers with the slanted door that look damaged a bit. You can't hide in those. You can only hide in these black ones. And also, if you're playing from another room scheme that you can hide beneath furniture, you can do it in the doors rooms. Because in some fan-made room games, you can actually hide behind these tables and stuff. And also, after passing A120 and you encounter a bridge room, I recommend after opening the door, run back to a locker, and if you can't hear any drumming sounds, then it's safe. Because if A120 comes and you're on this side of the bridges, and if you panic, you can't really get to a locker. But you don't have to do that if your reaction time's good. didn't mean to unpause when A90 came. I was about to say, if you're in a room with no lockers, then in the next room A120 will not come at all. But A60 might and A90 might. There are also 2 badges you can get from the rooms. Back on track. Oh, actually, technically 3. Detour is when you enter the rooms by lockpicking and skeleton keying the door entrance at door 60. And back on track when you escape the rooms at an exit the exits come after room 200. And then A1000, you get that by, well, getting to A1000. There's only 3 monsters, but you have to pay very good attention to avoid them. Also, always have vitamins on you, because if you're in an emergency, which I was just in, picking up some money, and then A60 came. Have vitamins because so you can speed boost. Vitamins don't heal you anymore, but still you can speed boost. Mobile players can hear a glitching noise when A60 comes. I don't know anything about that, I don't play on mobile, but apparently they do. Also, if your reaction time is bad, you shouldn't move your camera that much. You should just keep it straight and walk like this, because A90 might come, and if you move your camera, you will get damaged. And you can only survive one A90 hit. If you get 2 hits, then you get killed. A90's attack does 90 damage. Which is important because you shouldn't take damage before entering the rooms. And if you do, always look for bandages. Here's A120. Sometimes he might rebound. Hello? It's safe. Sometimes when he rebounds, funny thing actually, sometimes when he rebounds, he comes in front of your locker and just sinks into the ground. Also, if your game is really laggy or your reaction time is very bad, you should also hide in the locker after opening each door. So, just for safety. But if your reaction time is good or you're not laggy, you don't really have to do that. Also, don't be afraid to use your flashlight, because batteries are common when you do have a flashlight, but if you don't, apparently they don't spawn at all. See what I mean? You should always go back to your locker. Will you rebound? Come on, rebound for the video. No rebound? Okay. So I'm pretty much sure that's all the tricks that I know. If I find out any more tricks, I'll just do another part. But that's it for today's video. See you in the next one.